Do you think that there's a question that I should have asked you today in deposition that I didn't?
That's a good question. Question you should ask me. I can't think of any.
Okay, Mr. Jones. You would agree with me that when some damage happens, when you break something, when you cause something to be lost, when you hurt somebody, whether it's intentional or whether it's a mistake, there's consequences for that, right? People should be accountable for the people they hurt.
Objection is to form.
Well, sometimes people claim they've been hurt and they haven't been. So you have to look at the agenda behind things. You have to balance things about why has the mainstream media lied so much, why have governments lied so much, the fact that the public doesn't believe what they're told anymore, and are we going to criminalize questioning Jussie Smollett or WMDs or babies in incubators? And it really is the fact that we've allowed the government and institutions to become so corrupt that people have lost any compass of what's real. And I myself have, almost had like a form of psychosis back in the past where I basically thought everything was staged, even though I've now learned a lot of times things aren't staged. So, I think as a pundit and someone giving opinion, that, my opinions have been wrong, but they were never wrong consciously to hurt people. And so I think it's part of that process of me growing up in Rockwall, Texas, and watching the police steal drugs and then conduct anti-drug programs at the school. I think that shook my opinion of police in general, and I was very anti-law enforcement until I grew up and learned more things, and now I'm pretty much pro-police. So it's been a process.
You said false things about Sandy Hook because of the psychosis.
Well, I'm going to say,
Objection is to form.
Correct?
well, I'm just saying that the trauma of the media and the corporations lying so much, then everything begins, you don't trust anything anymore. Kind of like a child whose parents lie to them over and over again. Well, pretty soon they don't know what reality is. So long before these lawsuits, I said that in the past I thought everything was a conspiracy, and I would kind of get into that mass groupthink of the communities that were out there saying that. So now I see that it's more in the middle, and so that's where I stand.
I'm a little concerned about something I heard in your answer, that it seemed to be you suggesting that you weren't sure if these parents have suffered pain from what you did.
Well, I was stating that I was reporting on the general questioning and what others were questioning. And, it's painful that we have to question big public events. And I think that's an essential part of the First Amendment in America. And I do not take responsibility for the entire train of things that lawyers, the media have said I've done. So I do not take the responsibility. I do not take your indictment or your presumed conviction of me as the villain or the star of Homeland, because that's not who I am. And so I reject it.